Hey, we are looking at Acts chapter 16 now, and Acts chapter 16 is full of very interesting stuff. First off, notice that Timothy comes on the scene. You can look more, we're going to learn more about Timothy as we get later into our challenge for the summer. Also, there's sort of this issue of, Timothy, they refer to him as a Greek, and just to give you some cultural background, a Greek was somebody who was actually of Greek culture. It wasn't Timothy who was Greek, but his father was Greek, and his mother was a Jew. And so Greek is somebody who's a Greek culture who's a non-Jew, basically a Gentile. We also see this phrase Grecian in the thing, and a Grecian is somebody who's a Greek-speaking Jew. So they're a Jew, but they speak Greek. All right, so that's the distinction when you see that, just for fun. We see Paul and Barnabas, well, not Barnabas at this point, I'm sorry. We see Paul and Silas, and also possibly Luke traveling around delivering the message that came from the Jerusalem Council. And there's also this interesting thing, which maybe we'll talk about at youth group, the Holy Spirit not allowing them to go to certain places. So it's very interesting, and the Holy Spirit was very involved in where they were teaching and speaking and that kind of stuff. I said Luke before. Luke's not actually mentioned, but we do see this shift from third person to second person where Luke is referring to himself as we. So they become they to we. So usually when an author did that in the old times, that meant they were present and an eyewitness to what was going on. So we get a really good accounting of what Paul was doing at this point. Also notice Lydia. We're going to have issues come up about what Paul thought about women and that kind of stuff. But notice here, and we'll see it throughout, Paul had women very involved in his ministry. We also see this casting out of the slave girl, which ultimately leads them to prison and to some issues there. But what's very interesting about Paul, and also I believe Silas in this case, is that, and Timothy really, is that, but especially Paul, is that he's a Roman citizen. And by being a Roman citizen, they had different rights than, like, let's say, a Jew person in the Roman Empire, I guess you might call it. So Paul was really the perfect man for the job. He could say a lot of stuff because of his Jewish background and his Jewish upbringing. He really understood the Jewish culture, but he also was able to be sort of cross the line into the Gentile because he was also had that background. But even more so, they had to do a lot more to arrest him than, let's say, Jesus because of his Roman citizen status that he had. Very interesting. We'll see more of that as we go on throughout the thing. All right, on to Acts chapter 17.